Well, good morning, church. Thank you for joining us for our deep dive. Have you ever kind of looked around at what's happening maybe in the world and it doesn't make sense? Or maybe in your own life, something's going on and you're just kind of looking and you're honestly saying, hey, God, I don't understand why this is happening the way it's happened. We're really saying honestly, God, if I was you, I would do this a different way. We wouldn't say that, but it's kind of what we're thinking. And I think we see one of those examples this morning. Remember yesterday, Saul, who's on his way to persecute this church, is struck down and Christ speaks to him. He's blinded, but he's basically told, the person you're persecuting is me. And he realizes what he is doing is not working for God, but working against God. So we continue in verse 10, and Saul has went to a house there. He's been 3 days fasting without food. We know he's praying to God, and then there's a believer in that town. His name is Ananias. God speaks to Ananias, says, go to him, to Saul, lay your hands on him, and I'm going to heal him. Of course, Ananias' response is, whoa, God, if this guy's blind, that's probably a good idea. You know what he's doing to the church. But instead, God says, no, go to him, because he's going to be a witness to Gentiles, to kings, to Israel. And I think that's really cool in the fact that here was a guy who was absolutely opposed to Christianity, absolutely wanted to destroy it, and yet he's going to become the chief proponent of Christianity, used by God to reach Gentiles, to speak to kings. He'll stand before Caesar in the future, to be used to even reach the nascent nation of Israel. As we know in our New Testament, the majority, the number one writer of the New Testament as far as number of books written is that of Paul. Have you ever thought that maybe there's someone in your life who's beyond the gospel? They've walked so far away from God, or they're even hostile against God, and you're like, there's no way they could ever come to know Christ. Don't think they're beyond the grace of God. And here's the thing, when God reaches someone like that, you know what? Their message becomes even more powerful. I think of Josh McDowell, who set out to disprove Christianity, or Lee Strobel, the same way, set out to disprove Christianity. And both of them, in their search to disprove God, found God. So I just want to encourage you. Maybe there's someone in your life that you've just kind of written off as, you know what? They'll never come to know Christ. Not only might they come to know Christ, they might be a more powerful tool to share the gospel than someone who found Christ when they were 7. So I'm just saying, don't look beyond that. Be looking for God maybe to open doors, and continue to pray for those that you know that don't know Christ. Prayer is powerful. People can't stop it. You send them a book, they don't have to read it. You call them, they don't have to answer. You go to their house and knock, they don't have to come to the door. But when you pray, there's nothing they can do. And you pray, God, open their eyes to eternity. God, put in their life people they know and respect that they find out are Christians. And God, make them open to hearing the gospel, and use me maybe to be that witness. So at times when God doesn't make sense, understand from our point of view it may not, but God is at work in ways beyond us. We're part of that divine drama, and we play a role. So let's play that role well. Thank you guys for being part of our daily Devo, our deep dive. Continue tomorrow, and we're so glad that you're on this journey with us.